Hi guys, it's Nancy and I have some of the new release items for the April 2025 release from Gina K Designs, and let's get into it. So this is the Handpicked Flowers bundle. This is the Handpicked Flowers stamp set, die set, and stencil set, and you know your girl is gonna have the poly glaze, so of course that is optional, but we're going to also do some foiling with diffuse system. So first let's start out with the bundle and then we'll bring in the polyglaze a little bit later. Okay, so in this set we have the dies, which Gina K's team sends with the magnetic sheet, which I love. We'll bring those in later. And then we have the stamps and the stencils. Okay, so beautiful stamp set. Love the, I always love how classic, and I've always loved this about Gina. I am not a huge floral girl. You guys know that. I'm not into the dainty florals, but I am a handwriting snob. I love, love, love sentiments, and I love handwriting, right? So thankful for you, thinking of you. Friends like you are such a gift, and so sorry. So she not only carries that into the stamp set, when you have the coordinating dies, you can see that the dies are going to cut that out as well. Let me bring that in here so you can see that the dies are going to be very close in cutting that out. But also, when you have the polyglaze, the dies are going to coordinate with the polyglaze. Okay, so I love that. Love it. Let's just do this right now. And I know a lot of you guys love Gina K's sets because you love doing the coloring, whether you are doing color pencils or watercoloring. But here is what I mean. Like, look at how scripty that is. That coordinates beautifully with cutting out that sentiment, right? Here's another one. Okay. So I'm just a font snob is, I guess, the best way to put it. I love when fonts are very scripty and beautiful and classic like that. And Gina K is always bringing beautiful fonts. I don't like plain fonts. Okay, so the dies will coordinate with the polyglaze. So we have stamps. We can certainly stamp those out. We can certainly die cut those out. But for my foiling snobs, yes, we have coordinating polyglaze. So there we have those coordinating fonts in a polyglaze that we can foil with our toner foiling foils and our toner foiling machine, which would be the Gina K machine or coordinating toner foiling machines. So there you have that big floral image again. You have the smaller images, and these dies will coordinate with cutting those images out. So you get two of the, actually one, two, three, four of the big image, and then you have some of the smaller images with the roses there, and then the little smaller leaves, the smaller rose. I'm calling them roses, but they can be whatever you color them. That's what's nice about Gina's florals, is they're kind of ambiguous. Depending on how you color them, you can make them whatever you want them to be. So you have these smaller sprigs down here, some smaller flowers here. I mean, these could almost be like, you know, depending on how you color them, they could be almost like crocuses or roses. I'm not a big flower person, so I'm just trying to name some flowers. They could be dahlias. They could be, again, the way that they open it, just depending on how you color them. All right. And then we have, so some big, the larger one, and then we have some sentiments. So thinking of you, friends like you are such a great gift, thankful for you, and so sorry. So all of those. So if you're not big into stamping, and a lot of you guys always ask, how do I foil my stamps? How do I foil my stamps? How do I foil my stamps? You don't need to foil your stamps when Gina makes a cheat sheet for you like this. Polyglaze cheat sheet. Why do we love polyglaze? It's not black, okay? You can see that it is a gel glaze. Do you see that glossiness? See how that stands out? It is a gel glaze, which means when you foil it, the foil is going to stick to it and you're not going to have the black specks underneath. The foil is automatically going to stick to it, okay? So you're going to get 8 sheets. So you can see there was 6 sheets of the images and 2 sheets with the sentiments. Coordinates beautifully. This is called the hand-picked flowers, and it coordinates with the sentiments. But let me get to stamping, stenciling, and then we can also polyglaze and stencil as well. So this is the hand-picked flowers bundle, has the stamps, the stencils, and the dies. And then if you want to purchase the polyglaze, that is a separate purchase. But let's stamp and stencil and do a little coloring, and then we'll do something with that. I'm going to bring my mini Misty into the picture here. And these are high quality photopolymer stamps. So photopolymer stamps are going to give you the best image when they stamp. These are not silicone stamps. The difference is these are going to be the best when they stamp. They're not going to bead up the ink. They're going to last a lot longer. Okay, these stamps are made in the USA. Okay, I'm going to use that. All right, now I'm going to use my Gina K amalgam ink to stamp that out. The amalgam ink is nice because whether you decide you're going to color with color pencils or you're going to color it with watercolor, this amalgam ink is designed to use with either one, whether you want to do watercolor markers, watercolor pencils, Copic, alcohol, whatever. It's pretty much safe for any medium, whatever you want to use. Now, I only have just a very small selection here. I have one other polyglaze I'm going to show you guys in a second. I am in the midst of moving, so you guys will see that my design team selections for this month are going to be very, very few until I get packed up and settled and moved into the new house. So you guys will have to forgive me for this month. Ooh, I missed a big chunk in the middle there. This is where having a Misty stamping tool or some kind of a stamping platform helps, because if you don't get that inked up the first time, you can always go back in and re-stamp it. All right, pretty happy with that. All right, and I think for this one, I'm going to do what Gina K does, and I'm just going to use some color pencils. going to clean my stamp off with just some stamp cleaner. And I'm gonna be pretty quick about coloring this. Nothing too super fancy here. I do have some Gamsol and some blending stumps. But you use whatever you have. I am going to turn on my overhead light here. It's going to get a little bright, you guys. So, oops. Dropping my ink pads. And again, I'm not doing anything super special here. I am just laying down some color. And this is Prismacolor Pencils PC 912. You'll see I'm not being super neat here because the Gamsol is going to spread that for me. I'm going to take a little bit darker PC 908 and just add a little bit of shading onto the bigger leaves here. Okay, then I'm just going to go in with a little bit of Gamsol and a little blending stump. And just blend, blend, blend. You can feel when that starts to dry out. It'll stop. When it's blending, it's really smooth. And you'll feel when it starts to dry out, it won't blend as easily. But Gamsol is just odorless mineral spirits, and basically it's just melting the wax and the color pencil and just making it really super smooth. And I find for me, I don't think I'm very great at coloring, so this takes away all those pencil lines and strokes and makes it very smooth and easy and makes it look like I'm really good at coloring. It makes it look like it went from pencils to markers. So it makes blending very easy. And with color pencils, if you are outside the line, you just take an eraser and erase it. So just like that, all that green is nice and blended and smooth. And now I can go into the other colors here. So I feel like this is kind of a mixture of flowers. I'm going to go in with some lighter purples with these other ones. This is PC, I think that's 956. A little late, my eyes are kind of failing me at the end of the day here, but pretty simple to add some colors here. Again, you can see that I'm not being real precise here because I know once I blend it, it will smooth itself out. So if you suffer from dexterity issues, you're not able to keep your hands super straight, you don't have to with this method. You just need to just lay some color down. I don't have a lot of patience for coloring, so that's why I like doing color pencils. I want it to be quick, I want to be easy, I want to be done with it. This is PC 994. I'm going to be very kind of heavy-handed towards the bottom of the, I'm going to call this a rose or a peony. And I'm going to let the gamsel pull that color. So I'm heavier. I'm going to pull it up and it'll lighten towards the tops of the petals. You'll see what I mean here in a second. So again, not real neat, very quick. Just adding some color, and we'll let the gamsel melt it down and drag that color up. So it'll be a darker pink towards the middle, and as it pulls that color out, it'll be a lighter pink. We can always add more color. It doesn't matter where you start or end. It's not like watercoloring where you need to worry about where you touch. It doesn't really matter because it pretty much dries instantaneous. Once it goes into your paper, it dries. Now, if you need more pencil, let it dry a second and then go back in and add more pencil. Now, if your blending stump is a little dirty like mine is, you can see it's kind of rubbing some darker colors in there. Just take your sanding stump and blend some of that darker color off. Okay. Okay, that pretty much handles the coloring of these. I think that looks pretty good. That would be if you just wanted to, oh, I didn't color my purple flowers. Okay, that's if you wanted to do traditional coloring. And I think you get a little bit more dimension that way, but it looks pretty cool. And then obviously we can die cut that, stamp our sentiments and die cut it that way. And you could take more time and use some more Gamsol to blend that out a little better if you wanted to. But I'm pretty happy with how those came out. Now let's see how it looks if we do the polyglaze and we stencil it out, just to show you a little different way. And with the polyglaze, I would say foil it and then stencil it, because sometimes if you, depending on the ink that you use, if you stencil it and then foil it, depending on the ink, sometimes the ink could cause the foil to stick. So let's start with foiling it. So I'm going to grab one of the florals. And let's pick a beautiful color of foil. And I'm not going to die cut it yet. I'm just going to cut around it because I still want to be able to stencil it. And I'm going to turn my fuse on. And for my fuse, I like to be on 4. And we're going dusty, 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 dusty. And I think this is the lemon color. I'll look up the name for you guys. I'm going to put that in our carrier sheet. And you want to put that in folded side, but you'll notice I kind of put that in long ways, okay? You don't want to put that in, or should I say short ways? In other words, you want to load, anytime you're loading anything into your fuse machine, you want to put the shortest side possible into your fuse machine. You don't want to put the longest side possible into your fuse machine. Anytime you're doing anything polyglaze, the shortest side of the design should go into your fuse machine. So if you put the longest side in, what happens is it causes air bubbles in your foiling, okay? So this would be the longest side, causes air bubbles as it's going into the machine. The machine has 2 rollers on the top and on the bottom, 1 roller each, and it causes pressure and heat as it's going through the machine. So that causes air bubbles. So we want the shortest area to pass through. See what I'm saying? So this being the shortest area for those air bubbles causes, or for the rollers, causes less air bubbles. So I'm going to put this in this way, not this way. We always do dusty, dusty. And the folded side of the carrier sheet always goes through first. And you'll notice as I put it through my machine, I'm going to hold it and guide it through until I see it come out the other side. And again, I like to use setting 4 on my foiling machine. You're going to want to check, depending on where you live, different parts of the area, different countries. Your foiling machine might be better on 3. Try your machine. Mine works best on 4. Now I just switched to 4. If you have been foiling for a while, your machine might work better on 3. If it's been running for quite a while and it's super hot, 3 might be better for you. But for me, it just turned on 4, so this is going to be the best setting for me. Okay, and I'm going to let that cool completely. I'm going to bring in my Gina K grip mat so that we can do our stenciling while that cools down. And this is the hand-picked flowers coordinating stencils. And they are numbered in the bottom left corner here. It says 1, 2, and so on. I'm going to open this up and we're going to reveal how beautifully foiled this is. Okay. Now, occasionally you might have some speckles of excess foil. Just take an eraser and erase that off. It's not going to hurt anything. Okay, so we're going to take our grip mat and we're going to place that on our mat like that. And we are just going to line it up. So we're going to line up first one here. Going to hold our stencil in place. And we're just going to start stenciling in some beautiful colors. So I think for this one, I'm going to use Wild Dandelion. And I'm just going to be very gentle with my stenciling. Again, you can always ink first and then foil. It is personal preference. The only inks I don't recommend are like alcohol-based inks, and I don't recommend pigment inks because pigment inks can dull your foiling. So if you do that, you know, you just kind of gently want to wipe to make sure that you wipe any excess ink off of your foil. That's all. See how easy that is? Okay. We're going to go in with number 2. This little sticky grip mat makes it so easy to hold everything down. This one I'm going in with Passionate Pink for the second one. There's no right or wrong way here. You do it any way you want. And again, if you're more comfortable doing the inking, stenciling first and then the foiling, you can always do that. Personal preference. Pretty. Okay, now we're going to go in with our third flower. I think for this one, I'm going to have to go in with a little bit of purple. Medium lilac. course, you can make them any color you want. You can make them all yellow if you wanted to, whatever you want to do. All right, and then the last color is going to be all of the greenery. So it's going to line up all of the leaves. And I'm going to go nice and bright with grass green for these. Okay, and let's see what the final reveal looks like. Ta-da! So, same image. One is stenciled. One is stamped and colored. One is polyglazed and stenciled. You know, I think they both look great. It's just a matter of what you want to do with it. And we can die cut both of those out with the dies. Where'd I move my dies to? Oh, here they are. And that's one big die to cut that out. Let me bring my Intri-cut in and we'll cut that out. Oh, do I have that on die cutting? I don't think I have it on die cutting. And there you can see how, ooh, look at how detailed that die cuts out. Look at it, cuts out all those little center pieces too. So there you can see, that's what it looks like if you want to stamp it and color it. That's what it looks like if you want to use the polyglaze and stencil it. So two different looks there. I think they're both gorgeous. And that is part of the new release. It is called Hand Picked Flowers Bundle from Gina K Designs, which gives you the stamps, the stencil, the dies, and then there's the optional polyglaze. Let me know which one you like. Do you like the stamped and color pencil one, or do you like the foiled one? If you want to know more about foiling, please subscribe to my channel. I will teach you all about toner foiling and using your new fuse machine. And then I promised you guys I would show you another polyglaze that was released. We're not going to do that video right now, but follow me and I will show you that maybe on the next video. That one is called Floral Friendship. Let me show you guys that one. Has a little bit different font and a different floral image, but I will do another video because this video is already too long. So we have some more sentiments. These are very easy to cut. Your friendship means the world to me. A friend like you is hard to find. Hello, sweet friend. So you have 3 different sentiments on there. Let's celebrate. Friends are flowers in the garden of life. So you have different fonts on here. Very classic font on that one. And then we have different florals for this one. Now, I don't know if there are dies for this one. I wasn't sent the dies. But fun, different types of florals for this. I'm going to assume there are probably dies and I just wasn't sent the dies for this set. So that'll be a video for another day, but that one is called Floral Friendship for that one, for my foiling friends for that one. All right, guys. Hopefully you had fun. If you are interested in purchasing these items, please click the link down below. You guys know Gina K items sell out very, very quickly. Does not cost you anything to click the links down below. Please click yes to cookies so Gina K knows that I sent you her way. And again, if you want to know more about foiling or any Gina K items, I have the playlist link down below. You can click Gina K or you can click the toner foiling playlist. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll catch you on the next video. If you had fun, please click the thumbs up button and I will catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.